You're watching Experience Comic Culture and Sales, streaming live daily to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
Crackle and pop, we found them. Hi guys. Hello. We're having a day. We are today is a day. Today is a Tuesday.
New book day.
Yeah. New books.
There were 1 or 9.
There was a bunch. We read all these. Oh my gosh. Hello.
This is Minute To Skim It. Hello.
Yeah. I'm Jenna.
I'm Alfie.
As the name over there says. Look, we got it right today.
After messing it up the first time.
Shh, don't give away all the secrets. Come on, man.
Every secret.
Come on. Oh, I'm supposed to share this. All right, Alfie, do you want to start?
Yeah, I'll start. Oh man. There's so much.
It's going to be a weird show. Yeah, it is.
Life is a weird show. Start off with Hairball. Which I don't know if you can tell, but it's like
Kitty.
watercolor-esque, the cover.
Pretty.
And this is interesting. So this kid is adopted, and on the same day that she's adopted, a stray cat shows up. And so, gets a cat, and new parents, and everything's great. Except it isn't.
I would say that feels like a lie.
Yeah. Now, she might, her family thinks that she has, some sort of developmental disorder.
Okay.
And I don't think that's the case. And for some reason, her cat bites her.
Well, that's
and there's,
rude.
weird little things that grow out of her little wounds. It's weird. I really don't know where this book's going. I'm pretty intrigued by it. Oh, I just noticed there's a finger on this.
Yeah. Hey, John.
Yeah, there's a little finger. I didn't notice that before. But yeah, there's something definitely going on with the cat. Curious as to what's going to happen with that.
There's things coming out where the cat bites her?
Yeah,
Like
things. I don't know how to describe it. They're weird little things. Weird little things in that book.
Oh,
And, I highly recommend it. I'm pretty excited to see where that book goes. It's gonna be a weird one.
Someday I'm going to be better at sharing this. Someday. Late post. As you see, I am on here liking and sharing. I hope you guys also do the liking and the sharing. I guess I need to talk about a book, huh?
Yeah.
Eeny, meeny, miny, all of them.
Pick one.
Let's talk about Junkrabbit.
Of course.
Because that's the last one I read. So I have it fresh in my memory. So Junkrabbit, it's a new #1 from Image. See the bunny? Look at the bunny. We all know I have a very tiny, small obsession with the bunny. Anyways, this is what the art is like on the inside. Are the things happening or in her head? Oh, that's a good question on that one.
Oh, on the Hairball?
Yeah.
No, things are happening.
Oh, they is happening. Okay.
Things are happening.
So this is set in. Hold on, let me find my notes. Let me find my notes. I had to write notes today because I don't know if it's the weather or something, but it's just kind of like.
To be fair, you write notes on every week.
I know, but this one's detailed notes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, details. Oh. So Junkrabbit, it's set in 2198, and the world is just, think Wall-E. Covered in. Wait, what?
I haven't seen Wall-E. Continue.
Okay. We got a lot of books, but we're going to discuss this again later.
Okay.
We're wrapping back around. Somebody make a note of that. Make a note of that. Remind me to come back to that. So the whole world is just covered in junk and trash. And there's this dome. They call the dome people the domies. Yeah. So we have the domies, and then you also have people who don't live in the dome, where they live in what's called the sink, because it's sunk into the trash. Anywho, so this guy is snuck out of the dome, and he's live streaming that, hey guys, I found a button. Yeah, look at this button. It means it's gold for all the sinkers. And like, I bet I'll get some sweet sinker. And I'm just like, oh no, I don't like this dude. Like, he's kind of rude. And then out of nowhere, that guy comes up and just, well, we don't know if it's a guy, we don't know if it's a chick. The bunny shows up and just decapitates him live on camera.
Like you do.
Like they do.
Yeah.
And so the police that are in the dome are like, oh, we're going to detective this. We're going to investigate. We're going to investigate this. People in sync, it's just normal day-to-day lives. You know, they've turned the trash into stuff that they can be used. And then the detectives show up, and this one lady is like, oh, hail the bunny. He will protect us and bring us back to good earth. And they just shoot her in the head.
Oh. Like you do.
Like, an old lady's just staying there, just like praying, and they're just like, bam, because they wouldn't tell her who is the junk rabbit. Like, who is it? Who is it? So yeah, we have some ideas on who it may or may not be. Also, the detectives in this, they wear top hats and like full suits. I was like, wow, that is fancy. They got violent quick. Yeah, it was Violent Comic Week. Yes, I want to see. Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, it was pretty violent. All right, what's next? You're next. We got a lot.
Yeah. We'll do Second Coming Trinity.
I love the series. This is the third story arc of the series.
Okay. Yeah, because I started reading it, I was like, I feel like I am missing some important background info. So there's Cranius, this dude, and he is on trial for many murders. Because it seems like there was some devastating of a city, caused countless deaths.
Rude.
So, you know, he's in trouble.
Oh, rude.
But it seems like it stems from, like, him being terrible just stems from him being made fun of in high school. And and at his high school reunion.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, and then there's Sunstar, who's a superhero.
Yeah.
And he's got a kid, and Jesus is babysitting his kid.
Oh, yeah, because Jesus and Super Sunstar are besties.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I definitely want to read the before, because there's definitely, like, important stuff that I'm missing.
You know what's funny? When the first one came out, I remember getting it, and I can't remember who it was, but they were just like, this is the most sacrilegious thing I've ever seen. Because it's like a team up between Jesus and a superhero just hanging out all the time.
I mean, that makes sense, though. I mean,
it's good, though.
Why wouldn't he team up with a superhero?
I know, right? Okay. All right, next I'm going to talk about Rogue and Gambit number 2. So, for anybody who may not have read the first one, not Divinity. I'm sorry. Was it Trinity or Divinity? Oh my goodness. But one of them has a premonition, and so they go to Rogue, and they go to them too, and they're like, hey guys, let's go save. You need to do this thing. So Rogue and Gambit, they go out and do the thing, and then said thing is not working out for them, so they're about to be unalived. And then Mindfold's like, no, I got you, fam. And then, like, they disappeared at the end of it because they jumped through a portal, and we didn't know where they went. Well, now we know where they went. They appeared in a desert. They're just in the middle of a desert in Nevada, right? No powers. So what happens when a married couple has no powers? What's the first thing they're going to do? They're going to be like, oh, man, we're in the desert. Hey, look, I can touch you, and you're not killing me. Let's make out. So that was lovely. Like they do. And so they're walking, and they're walking some more, and they find a village, or not a village, I'm sorry. They find a town, and they walk into a bar, and, like, everybody, it's like one of those, like, moments, like those cliche moments of you walk in a bar, everybody goes silent, and it's like, rah, 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 rumble, rumble, rumble. And one guy comes up, and he taps Rogue on the back, and he is like, pardon me, but didn't you save the world once? And then the next thing you know, they're all dancing and drinking, and, like, they made friends. That was nice. And then, who shows up? Black Panther shows up. And he's like, you need to come back with me for the crimes of killing Mindfold. And they're like, what are you talking about? He's not dead. He sent us here. We were just doing Destiny. We're just doing what Destiny told us to do. And he was like, you think I'm going to believe you, you thief? Ah, and remember, they have no powers. So what happens? They start fighting. And what I thought was hysterical was like the town people were just like, hey, leave. And he's like, you're really going to try and attack Avenger and just like punch the dude? And Gambit's just like tackles him. And he's like, really, dude? You didn't need to punch him that hard. That was mean. And so, yeah. And then, of course, Gambit, to get out of the fight, because he knows he can't win this without powers, he gets knocked into the kitchen. And he sees somebody standing there. So he ties her arm to the stove and then lights it. And he's like, gotta go, bye. And she's just yelling for help. And he's like, she's going to get saved. And Rogue's like, why would you do that? And he's like, he's a hero. He'll save her. We'll get away. And so now they're on a motorcycle getting away. Nice. I can't wait. We also kind of visit a prison where Mindfold is at. But there are other characters in there too. So I really can't wait to see what's like going on with that. It's going to be exciting.
Nice.
Okay.
Let's talk about Planet of the Apes. And full disclosure, the only Planet of the Apes movie that I've seen is the Tim Burton one.
Oh no.
That is the only one I've seen.
So not the original one. It's like, you destroyed the world. You ate. No, you didn't. Oh. Damn dirty apes. Okay.
So I don't know if this necessarily lives up to like the original. I would say that it's better than the Tim Burton movie. But so they're humans.
Somebody make a note of us to watch that now.
Humans are making they're trying to find a cure for Alzheimer's, and because of the apes have similar brains to us, they're like, okay, well, obviously you tested on apes.
Yeah.
But what they injected into them kind of has made them way smarter, obviously.
Yeah.
And along with this, the humans also created something that they call the simian flu. And now there's a lot of people that are like, just kill all the apes. Just get rid of them. And then there's some people, like the main character that we focus on in here, that are like, we should probably save these apes. Like, this isn't their fault.
Yeah.
Like, the humans made this virus. Yeah. What are we doing?
Humans experimented.
Yeah. So, they're on a plane, like, they're taking the apes somewhere. I don't know where. They're taking some apes somewhere.
Okay.
But, the humans, like, this one particular human is like, she's speaking sign language to them and like, don't worry, bros, I'm going to protect you. Don't worry about it. And the apes are like, we protect ourselves.
Oh.
We don't care about humans.
Oh.
We're not doing this.
No, I'm not doing this. Not today.
We don't see each other, all right? We're not on the same page. But yeah, so there's definitely war between humans and apes because of the humans. It's all our fault.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. So I'm curious as to how we get to this point of like what's on the cover.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, next I'm going to talk about Zenescope's Robin Hood, the Crawling Chaos. Crawling Chaos. Okay, so this is another one of the one-shots. Zenescope's been really good with that, where most of their stuff has been one-shots instead of like full series, which I don't mind. I do like me good series, good mini-series, but I also like these one-shots so I can kind of keep up with things, or quarterlies, or whatever you want to call them. So what happens is, and it was so crazy. The beginning of it was so crazy. I actually turned to Alfie, like, Alfie. The first page is just a cult walking out into the middle of the park, and the second page is them lighting themselves on fire.
Like you do.
To spread chaos.
Yeah, that's perfectly normal cult behavior.
And apparently, then we flash over to Robyn, and she's in her place with all the tech and her dude, and they're just like, oh yeah, this has already happened like 4 or 5 times in the last like month. And you're just like, that seems suspicious. That's suspicious.
A little bit.
Just a little suspicious. A little bit. And every single time it's being held by this one dude is like walking them out saying, spread the chaos, and then everybody lighting themselves on fire. So, and then who was it that showed up? Mufasa didn't show up. Who showed up? Ghost Hawk.
My favorite Sinister character, Mufasa.
Ghost Hawk shows up. And he's like, yeah, I've been having visions. And they're like, okay, let's go figure this out. And so they go where the visions and kind of where they keep seeing this guy appearing in this house. That's, they're like, oh, this house is just chaos. Like, this is crazy. And they go in there and it's just like bones and ashes everywhere and just like blood on the walls. And it's like, somebody did not have a good time in this house. Somebody did not have a good time in this house. Nay. And then they get downstairs. There's this altar of like this skeleton. They've been cut up. This person did not have a good time in this house. Nay. And then the dude comes out and he's like, oh, you think you can stop me? Behold, this creature of nightmares. This creature of, what did I say it looked like? I say
Demogorgon and an alien.
Yeah, Demogorgon and a Xenomorph together had this creature as a baby. Like, no, it was, think Xenomorph head.
My OTT, oh my gosh. Xenomorph and Demogorgon.
That's what its mouth did. Its mouth all closed, and then it just went with like extra claws. No, that was horrifying. I'm gonna have nightmares about that. I fear Xenomorphs. I love them and fear them. That is just how it is. And so, they realize nothing they're doing is hurting it at all. Like, her arrows are doing nothing, his knives, and then, he turns into this giant brown bear to try and take it out. Nothing. So what does he do? He uses his dream catcher to just kind of like trap him in somebody's dream. And he's like, oh, it'll be back either tomorrow or in 10 years. I don't know. It'll be back. And so, Robyn's like, okay, deuces, chunk, let's walk away. Walk away. And they get back, and then they see on camera, there are hundreds of people going into this location. They're like, that's suspicious. And they're coming to realize that all these people are doing this to appease the god of chaos. And because every once in a while she likes to show up, Atlantis, Roanoke, the Aztecs, she likes to show up and cause a little chaos and just take everybody out because she's bored. Yeah, as one does, I guess.
Yeah. What do you do when you get bored? You just
cause a little chaos.
Yeah.
And so they go to try to fight her, and it's like, oh, you can't. She's a literal god that's been around since the Big Bang. So there's nothing you can do. You cannot defeat her. There's always going to be chaos. Hey, Kenneth, what's up? And so, yeah, that was definitely very interesting to see that this fight was not going according to plan for Ghost Hawk and Robin Hood. And of course, Ghost Hawk is like, I'm going to pray to my gods to help us in the chaos in these people's hearts. And so you'll have to pick up the book to see if they do. Definitely pick up the book to see if that just, hey, Lyle, see if that actually works. It's a lot of chaos.
Life is chaos.
Just like this book.
Puppies.
Puppy!
It's Star Trek Deep Space Nine, but the most important thing is puppy.
Puppy!
Which I know that there's like more important stuff happening. I think that Captain Sisko mentioned a war and stuff, but I'll be honest, my main takeaway from this book was puppy.
Well, it is called the Dog of War.
Oh yeah, that's Dog of War. Brain just stopped. Quark, he has this dog. He's like gonna sell it because this person is like, he's into like really rare objects and things, and this is like a rare dog because he's like purebred.
Puppy.
And yeah, and everyone on the ship seems to be falling in love with the dog. They're just like, oh, little puppy, I love it.
I love him.
And there's a dog park in the holosuite, and it's really fun and cool and cute.
Aww.
And super adorable.
And there's sold off.
Oh yeah, and I think Quark is getting attached to the dog too, and he's like, no, I'm not. I'm selling it. It's property. I don't care. But yeah, something board, something board. But most important thing is dog.
Puppy.
Pick it up for the dog.
How cute this puppy is.
It's so
like,
adorable.
Look at his claws.
He's
Like,
a
hold on,
puppy.
look at those.
So adorable.
He has claws. He doesn't have feetsies.
He's
Those
got-
are clawsies.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, that's cute.
I wonder if he's as dangerous as the cat from Captain Marvel.
He seems like a perfectly normal dog.
Except for claws.
Well, all dogs have claws.
Not like that.
Yeah.
They're really long. There's like 2. Okay, next one. Let's do Lost Boy. This was a Kickstarter that just ended, and it's called by Bunny AD. What's really cool is in the back of it, it says,
I'm definitely a Trekkie. So.
She's a Trekkie.
More TNG, not Deep Space.
I like both.
I mean, they're good. I grew up on TNG mostly.
Yeah.
So.
I grew up on VeggieTales, so I like both. So this was a Kickstarter that was just wrapped up. It's called Lost Boy, and the tag is how a Peter became a pan and a hook, and a hand became a hook. So Peter, Peeter, is actually a real, not just name, but it means a thing. What does it mean? Oh, it means a Peter is a person who steals bags from like wagons and stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, so he has this really long hook, and he takes things, him and his lost boys. They end up taking from the wrong person.
Like you do.
And so the carriage driver is like holding a gun and is like, give it back. And they're like, look, we just want food. And the dude who's in charge, like the ones that it's his wagon, carriage is the word. Oh my gosh. See, this is why I have notes. And he is just like, bro, give us the purse back. There's like no money in it. It's just a purse. It's nothing in it. I'll go and buy you food. Like, come on now. And the other guy's like, no, I'm just going to shoot him. He's right here in front of me. I'm just going to shoot this tiny kid. Yeah. Maybe 9 or 10 years old. He's like, I'm just going to shoot him. Like, I'm going to cut off his hand or I'm going to shoot him. You got to make your choice, Mr. Boss Man. The Boss Man's like, no, man. No, we don't need to go that far. No, man. Hey, what's up? And you get the sense of, because it's set in what feels like no, that's the wrong one. I'm sorry. It feels like it's set in like the 16 or 1700s in England. So they had that kind of like, feels like carriages and whatnot. What did he do next? Oh, yeah, he flew. And the way he flew was one of the other kids that was on top of the roof, like kicked something and it pulled him up. You know, Levy's science. Magic. And he flies off and they go running across, and they're called the Pigeons and the Lost Boys, where they're just like hop across the roofs and go. And so the two dudes that got robbed, they go to Captain Grimes. It's who they go to try and take him out, because he's known as the thief taker, because he's also been known when he was a captain, anytime somebody would steal something and cut off their hand. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He even kept one kid's hand. He was like, oh, yeah, my cabin boy took a coin, so I cut off his hand.
What a fun trophy.
I was like, that's excessive. That is very much excessive. And, then the next scene is, they're like, oh, yeah, we'll get them for you. Aha, get the purse back, get the stuff back. And then Captain Grimes walks into the back room. Guess who's in the back room? All the Lost Boys! They're working together. He hawks off everything that they steal. And then they scare people to come to him to give them money. But, like, something's different, because it's all, like, pouring rain and bad outside. You know, the smallest boy is like, hey, can we just sleep inside? And he, like, Spartan kicks him out of the way. Like, no, you can't sleep inside. What's wrong with you? And they're like, He's not a captain. He's an alchemist. He turns, we give him gold. He turns it to silver and gives us copper. And I'm like, oh, there's going to be a mutiny. So, yeah, it's definitely, I'm kind of excited to see. Because if you look at it, they show, like, pictures of some of the other characters that are going to show up later in the series. Where we have fairies and we have mermaids and we have, like, actual, like, magical things happen. But this was a really cool way to set up, like, Peter Pan. Nice. Storyline, yeah. And his name was, like, Thomely. Thomathony.
It might be Tom. Like, Thomon.
Timothy? Is that a weird way to spell Timothy? Is that what it is?
Oh, that could be.
Okay. You know what? I'm going to look at it again.
I'll talk about both kids.
Yes.
Okay. Archie and Friends. All action.
And it feels like butter. Nice. I forgot to talk about that.
So this is actually 3 stories, and there's one that is essentially Pacific Rim.
Okay.
And Archie is like a universal co-pilot, so he has to pick. Oh, I don't know, man.
Okay, so here it is. It's Tomathon.
I don't know.
Sorry, continue.
So Archie's a universal pilot. He has to pick between Betty and Veronica because they're fighting over him, of course, like you do. And then the second story, it's like a Archie multiverse kind of thing. Like there's Archies everywhere.
Oh my god.
Like loads of Archies.
That's too much Archie.
And he has to like close a time portal dimension thing. And then and that one had a puppy. So it was cool. I like that one. That was my favorite
was it
story.
An Archie puppy?
It was a puppy. And then the third one is the Riverdale Triangle. So it's kind of like the Bermuda Triangle, except Riverdale. And there's dinos. It's pretty fun.
What's funny is that actually makes a lot of sense because like Josie and the Pussycat shows up there, Sabrina shows up there, Satan shows up there. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
All right, is that my turn? Yes. Okay. What did I already talk about? Oh, yeah. Let's talk. Give me the book. Oh, God. Sweetie! Candy Vigilante number 5. Now, guys, this is one of my favorite series of all times because we have vampires, we have werewolves, we have so many different things. It's so cool. And they're all candy-based. It's so cool. It's all candy-based. So this one's number 5. So it opens up with the 2 detectives, or actually a bunch of detectives, trying to figure out why these 2 people were murdered. We know why they were murdered and how they were murdered because we were there like 2 issues ago. They're finally detectives showing up. And we're on issue number 5, and this is all still happening in one night. So it feels like longer, but it's not. It's all considered in one night that this is happening. And so the detectives are like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Why is this guy's head over there? Her face is missing. Like, there's no arm. Somebody took a tooth. Like, what is happening here? We don't understand. Like, this is going to be crazy. This is going to be a lot of work. And then we move back over to the ice cream shop, which was a bar that got turned. Like, Sweetie took it over because she's amazing. And the crew's like, oh, our socials are live. 5 minutes later, we have 5,000 subscribers. Look at that. We're viral. I'm like, I bloody well love them so much. Oh, one of the main goals going on right now. So the reason she took over it, and then she's talking about the ice cream bunny, which is also known as the Easter bunny, and his truck and how it runs off ice cream. But then it broke down because somebody put Rocky Road in it, and it doesn't run off of, nuts, but it runs off of it's got to be pure ice cream.
So the Rocky Road made it a Rocky Road.
This is why we're friends. Mm-hmm. But anywho, like, if you had a truck that had to run on ice cream, what kind of ice cream would you put in it? And also, wouldn't running a vehicle off ice cream be more expensive than gasoline?
I don't know.
Like a gallon of like good Bluebell ice cream is like $5 or $6 now.
Why would you use good ice cream?
So because you put good gas in a vehicle to make it run better, you put good ice cream in a vehicle to make it run better.
I put gas in my car. I don't really care.
You put unleaded gas in your car, don't you?
Yeah, just gas.
That's good gas.
The cheapest one.
Yeah, unleaded.
The cheapest one.
But what kind of ice cream would you put in your vehicle to make it run? Like, I don't know. Vanilla?
Mint chocolate because I don't like it.
Yeah, but you can't put the chocolate, like there's chocolate chips in there, and that would ruin it because that's candy. That's not ice cream.
That is a bit.
The chocolate chips and mint chocolate chip ice cream?
I would still consider it part of the ice cream.
But it's not. Like, obviously, when we learned they put Rocky Road in there, it messed it up. But yeah, so now they are finally, the chick that we met from the first one is finally going to be a part of their group. So there are too many rules. Yeah, okay. That is too many rules for a comic book. They've also announced in this book, they have shirts now. I need them. I need them so badly. Yeah, it's so good, guys. I definitely recommend it. It's one of my favorite series going on. Look, chocolate all the way, but then I'd run out fast because it wouldn't make it to the tank. Nice.
That's why you pick an ice cream you don't like.
You gotta pick an ice cream you don't like.
Yeah.
So that way you can eat the ice cream that you want. Yeah. And the next thing is she's going and looking for all the other immortals, because the reason she had to take over that specific spot was because upstairs was another secondary bar where all the immortals everywhere used to come to hang out. Oh, and Pixie finally gets what she gets turned into, and it's really cool. It's really good. Guys, please pick it up. It's the most original thing I've read in years. It's so good. Okay, next book.
Speaking of so good,
Ah!
Saga.
Oh no.
Issue 63.
So good.
There's a lot of these comics. So if you have never read Saga, the gist is these two races. There's like the people from the moon, and then that have horns, and then there's people on the planet that the moon orbits. They have wings, and they're at war with each other. They just don't like each other, and the whole like galaxy has just kind of picked sides. It's crazy, but I'm gonna try to not spoil too much. But basically, Alana, she's stuck in a dead end job, and she hates it. It's basically like working at the Amazon supply house, like warehouse supply thing. Yeah.
There's no escape.
So she's doing that, and her kid and Prince Robot's son, they want to bring a couple people back from the dead.
As they do.
Yeah.
As you do.
Yeah, because a lot of people die in this series. Just the amount of times where I was just
Sobbing.
actually bawling, like just disgusting, ugly crying. It's too many times, but it's so good. Highly recommend. And I'm excited to see. I need to know where things are going. I'm excited.
Oh my gosh, that sounds so good. Okay, let's talk. Sorry guys, we had so many books. They're kind of stacked a little bit on each other. This is called The Nasty from Volt. No. It's Vault.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. This is their other series of books from Nightfall, but it is called The Nasty. It's set in it's Scottish, so it's set in Scotland. The first part of it is in 1982. Yeah, 1982. We have this main dude here. He's a little kid, and he got a gore fest movie, right? And it's got this guy in it. And it's one of those B-rated gore fest movies that just like college kids did. It was but he loved it. He fell in love with that whole series of movies right then and there. And his mom comes home from work, and he comes running up to his mom and he's like, Mom, this dude, he cut somebody in half. This, that, it's so good. There's still more. And she's like, just go outside. Just go outside. You're supposed to be outside playing. Like, go outside. And he's like, but there's more movie. And she's like, just go outside. And so he goes outside, and he finds. The name of the movie was Cursed Labor Day. We're sorry we came to your parade float on your Cursed Labor Day parade. Is what like the movie was saying. It was so good. And he finds the giant dude, this dude, in the bushes. And thus that dude now is, I wouldn't call it his imaginary friend. Yes, I will get to Sweet Paprika in a little bit. I wouldn't call it imaginary friend, but it's pretty much his imaginary friend because nobody sees him or talks to him or like anything else. But the main dude growing up does. Now, the second part of it is it's set in 1994. He's in college. The dude is still hanging out with him. Like the big, scary, murderous dude is still hanging out with him. And, they come across this one film where it's supposedly the worst thing you've ever seen. Like, it's cursed. Like, if you watch it, people die. Yes. And they even talked about how one other dude had watched it and then just, like, killed himself halfway through. And they're trying to put on this, like, monster gore fest film show, and they promise everybody to have this cursed film there. And, because it's VHS, the VCR started eating the tape halfway.
Of course. And
they're like, oh, no, we gotta. And in the tape, as we're watching it, it turns on, and the dude's like, hey, kids. And he's, like, talking to them specifically. Like, look, how are you about to change? You're about to go vomit because you're so disgusted right now. And she runs off, starts vomiting. And then, like, he's like, I wonder how you're going to change. And he just, like, looks at the camera like this. And he's like, I wonder how you're going to change. And yeah, so they start running around. They're like, we don't know what to do. And the friend who has him as his imaginary friend is like, we could just make it. We could just, nobody knows anything about the cast, the storyline, what's going on. Why don't we just make one ourselves to show and say that that's what it is? And everyone's like, no, you can't do that. That seems dumb, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be good. Because it's a group of college kids who love these like gore type movies. And one of them happens to have an imaginary friend because he may or may not be able to touch some things and do some things. You'll have to pick up the book and find out. It's really good. Please do. Please do. I'm going to read it during the show. You should. It's really good. Also, I loved the posters that they had in the book. Like there's the Labor Day one.
Puppy.
Fluffy's the puppy who's a serial killer, but he wears Hawaiian shirts. Revenge of the Past. It's like, yeah. And I wonder if these are real things. Like, I wonder if these are real ones. Night of the Deviants. Deviants. That's Deviant. Yeah. So, yeah, it was really cool. By John Lees? Yes, that's who it's by.
So, this is Blood Tree, issue 3. And I love this series. It's really good. Basically, there's a serial killer, and he's very much like Sins of the Father type of thing. Like, because your relative was a serial killer, well, you get to die.
Then.
That's on you, I guess. So the detectives are getting very close to figuring out who is doing this, and they're basically like just a couple steps behind him.
Just barely.
Yeah. They're like, no, I think we know who did it and why, and it like the serial killer's father was also a serial killer. It's a whole mess. It's just a whole thing. And I love it. It's amazing.
Oh my gosh. I can't wait to figure out who it's going to be. Go ahead and do another one. Do so many.
Okay. Where Monsters Lie. And this is issue 3. Also 3. This was a week for 3s.
Yeah, it was.
I love this series so much. Essentially, there is almost like a retirement home, like community for killers. And one of the victims of one of the killers got away and went to a cop. And the cop is also like basically a final girl. And he is very upset. And he's like, we're going to this place and we are going to arrest everyone or kill them. Something. We're doing all of it. It is very gruesome, very violent, and it's amazing. And it's...
People die at the fair.
Yes. Lots of people die.
That sounds awesome.
It's great. 10 out of 10 would recommend everyone read that book.
Is that your pick of the week?
It might be.
Oh. All right, let's talk. Come here, you. So here's King Spawn, number 21. So the reason I picked this one is because it's Spawn. Spawn's awesome. Also, look how amazing this cover is.
The cover is really good.
Oh my gosh, that is just gorgeous, gorgeous art. I loved it so much. Okay, so this felt like it actually was a new storyline. It was actually, if you're trying to pick up and get into the series, this was pretty good to pick up because I'm very behind. So what I do with all my Spawn books is I like to pick up number ones and new story arcs, and then I wait for the trades because there is so much. It's kind of hard to keep up with. But this was a really good one to kind of get into. Spawn goes into this conservatory. Is that what they're called? I think that's what they're called. There's just a bunch of refrigerators full of brains. And there's a dog there, and he's like, whoa, dog, I'm not going to kill you because that's senseless killing. And I'm like, okay, Spawn. Senseless killing. All right, cool, whatever. And he throws it a brain to play with. He's like, here's a whole brain instead of a piece of brain because that would just bore you. And he's just hopping around looking at all the brains. And then we flash over to this other dude. He's sitting there having food, and somebody's taking pictures of him. And then this chick walks up to him when they're outside, and she shows him a picture. She's like, look, we can follow you. And he's like, why are you doing me? And then with some drugs and put him into the car. And this dude's like being woken up, and the guy's talking about, I'm about to cut your brains out. I'm like, oh, brains. I see what you did there. Nummy. And she's like, hold on. We can't cut his brain out yet. Otherwise, it won't survive to make it to the place. And he was like, shut up. I'll do it. I'll cut his brain out now. And the guy's like, oh, they're arguing. And he like knocks the other guy and puts his hands over her eyes. And he's like, pull over. And she does pull over and stop. And they're like, oh, you're not getting away. We have the guns. And somebody shows up and things go down and there's an epic fight. So definitely pick it up. It's really good. It felt like I wasn't missing too much, because it did have the one or two places where I wasn't sure of something. It told me exactly what issues of which storyline to read. And I didn't feel like I was missing too much. So yes, it was good. God, so many. Okay.
This is Fantom-esque. And the art on the inside is like the art on the cover, except it's black and white. So, weird rich people doing weird rich people stuff. That's the gist of that. So they are auctioning off Fantom-esque, because the dude on the cover, his name is Fantom-esque, I believe. That's my understanding.
They're auctioning off a person?
Yes,
okay.
To kill.
Oh.
Like I said, weird rich people doing weird rich people stuff. That's just what they do. I don't know why. In all of these stories, it's always like, oh, we're just gonna do weird stuff. But he, I think, is trying to get the owner of the mansion, his son, like that. He's trying to, I guess, get him to the cops and stuff. Trying to do good guy stuff. And yeah, a little bit of a fight and a tussle.
An auction off to be killed.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was kind of his plan to get auctioned. It was like, oh well, this is my ticket in, so I'll be caught and auctioned off, and then I know that my buddy's gonna be there, so she'll save me. No worries. Yeah. It's pretty fun.
I feel like shenanigans are gonna be coming.
1 or 2 shenanigans.
I heard something that if he shenanigans once, he'll shenan again.
All right. I'm leaving.
I heard that and I had to say it. I've been waiting for weeks to say that. No, please. Okay. I'm surprised. Please don't leave us. I know I'm weird. I'm sorry. No, I'm not. I'm not sorry at all. Okay. I feel like I have 2 books.
Yep.
I do. Okay. Let's talk about.
Don't do that.
Let's talk about Sweet Paprika. So this has 6 stories in it,
Oh, wow.
and I wrote one story. I wrote 1 line per story. I can't go into detail about this book because it's very spicy. Every page, Healthy. Every page. So this is Mirka Andolfo's one shot. It's 6 stories. It was her kind of like, there were some things that in the main storyline didn't quite get wrapped up or was kind of left as loose ends. This was her tying things up. So the first story, for anybody who did read Sweet Paprika, you know how her dad was very closed-minded about things. Well, he's finally going to therapy. He's finally learning. And the therapist is like, hey, this last week what we did was we made you a dating profile. This week's homework is to go on a date. So he does. He goes on a date. The person he's on a date with, she's up for election as prime minister. And she's like, as long as there's no scandals and we can do this and that. And in the main storyline, like the dad like lost his marbles for a minute, which is like scream on camera that people, I was a judge all my life and I lived righteously and this and that. And I'm sick of it. I'm so sick of everything. So now there's this like following of his video of people that are like quitting their high-end powerful jobs because it's too stressful and doing what they love, doing what they want. And so he's on this date talking to this person. She's like, I'm up for re-election. You would be great as like there. We would work. You're a judge. He's like ex-judge. And she's like, ugh. And then this chick runs up. She's like, oh my God, are you dude? And he's like, and she's like, you're from the video. And the prime minister is like, what video? And she shows him the video, and she's like, no. And the other chick's like, hey, that's okay. Date me. I love food. And then they kind of just go romping everywhere. And that's that one. The second one is, so her Sweet Paprika's main assistant, main storyline may or may not find actual love. So she's going on this thing. There's a train wreck and she gets locked somewhere. And the dude that was just sweeping on the train right before the train wreck goes in there. And they're just talking like all nicely. And then they go to kiss and then she gets saved. So that was interesting. And it's like, okay, you were just in a train wreck. Why are you so happy is what people are asking. And she's like, don't worry about it. The third one, can I say that? Okay.
If you have to question them, the answer is no.
Probably. So in the third one, we have the proofreading department. One of the dudes is a proofreader. He's so introvert that he's like never done things. Like he has troubles trying to talk to people. So he just sits in his office proofreading, and you know, one of the things is he has fantasies about everybody he's working with, and one of them is Paprika. He thinks he's in love with Paprika, but he's also super kind of like into the male dude who hands him a letter, and they meet in the bathroom. And shenanigans.
Mm-hmm.
The fourth story, I don't know if I could talk about this one at all.
If you
ask. The fourth one, let's just say the editor finds a love-hate relationship. There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
The fifth one is Paprika, and I don't want to spoil it because Sweet Paprika didn't end too long ago. So Paprika with the dude that she ended up choosing. That's not a spoiler, right? Okay. The dude she ended up choosing, they go out to find clothes, and in this clothing shop, there's spicy clothes. The sixth one is Burnett. He was the jerk in the very first few issues of Sweet Paprika. His failed redemption story. I don't think I can say anything else on camera. This is a very spicy book, guys.
Very adult.
Very adult. Great, cute little storylines. I will admit to that. But it's all black, white, and pink. Anytime they're showing big emotions, it's pink. The rest of the time it's in black and white. So that is a book that I read this week that I genuinely very much enjoyed.
Very nice.
Not because the spicy, but because the cute little storylines that were wrapping up the main storyline.
Very nice. And I'm going to try to do two real quick.
Okay, real quick. Okay.
So this is Nightclub issue 4. And it's by Mark Millar and Juan Ramirez, which I know Mark Millar does Nemesis and Nemesis Reloaded, and I think Ramirez is actually also the artist on that as well, at least on the Reloaded. So, Nightclub, 3 teenagers, one was going to die, so a vampire changes them, makes them into a vampire, and then he makes his friends into vampires, and they go around doing superhero stuff. Now, I don't remember why, but a building collapsed, and the main character, he's like, they take him to a hospital.
Yeah.
Because it's like, man, how are you even alive? Like, there's a hole in your chest. This is not normal. And then he gets put in a morgue because it's like, oh, well, you're probably dead. I mean,
you're probably dead.
There's no pulse, anything. And then
just a hole.
The cops and stuff, they kind of figure out that there's something crazy with him.
Oh.
Because they did take his mask off and stuff in the sun, and it's like, why are you on fire? This is bad.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, but then the cops are like, man, we need to kill this guy. Like, this is crazy. This is too much. And
I always wonder what would happen if cops found vampires.
Yeah.
And nobody would kill them. Okay.
Probably. And then the guy that changed the kid into a vampire, he is big mad at the kids. He's like, you guys are goofing, and you are doing some goofy goober stuff. Don't like it. So I think next issue is probably going to be pretty big. I'm excited. I feel like they're just in big trouble.
Another really big thing I like about it is they're all $2 books.
Oh, yeah.
$2 books. That's what those are.
And they're really good too.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is Almighty issue 3. Which I love this series. Basically, this girl, I think her name's Fale, F-A-L-E. She was sent on a mission to rescue Dell, who was kind of kidnapped. And she rescues her, and now the gang that they killed some people in, they're after them, chasing them. And the cops and the militia are also after them. And Dell kind of realizes that there's like something up with Fale besides her weird eyes. Like she moves a little bit faster and she's a little bit stronger than what a human should be.
Well, that's rude.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. I love this series. Yeah. Highly recommend this series. It's only on issue 3, so you get into it. It's so good.
At third story arc, number 3. Yeah, okay, I like this. There's lots of 3s.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. My last book. Last book was Scar. So this was Scar from Dynamite. Awesome. Thanks, Kenneth. I'm super excited. The series, I like what they're doing. So Disney and Dynamite, I think it's a team up. I'm not exactly sure. They're doing a whole villain series. The next one's going to be Maleficent. So in this one, this is Mufasa is still alive. Simba was just born. Like, he's been just borned. And he's, like, Mufasa is super upset. Like, this was the day he was born. And Scar is just like, man, I'm going to go make somebody else's life miserable. And so we have these wildebeests that are, like, hanging out. And the baby wildebeest is like, Mama, why you got a bird on your back? Like, and she's just like, sometimes they're tired. Well, why don't they just use the trees? And she's like, trees got bugs. So it's just a circle. Like, we all help each other. And also, it's a friend for you now. So the bird and the baby wildebeest start playing, and it's adorable. And then, you know, the baby wildebeest hears something. And it's Scar, like, jumps at him. But Scar also gets, like, T-boned by the mama wildebeest. And, like, they're trying to talk. She's like, look, just leave my baby alone. Just take on me. And he's like, look, I just want to pick on somebody weaker than me. And then all of a sudden, it's a stampede of wildebeest after him. And he gets knocked into the
Canyon?
Yes, thank you. Into the canyon. And he's having dreams of, like, Mufasa's being like, shut up, you will bow to me, I'm the king. Blah. And I'm like, that doesn't sound very much like Mufasa, but if you're threatening his child, maybe. Right? Yeah, maybe. And there's, like, vultures hanging out. They're like, oh, man, let's go see if he's dead or alive. If he dead, we gonna eat. If he alive, we will save him. And then we'll be eaten for life. Hey. And they go down to check. I'm like, oh, I don't hear any breathing. Let's go ahead and eat him. And Rafiki's like, waka! No. And he takes Scar back to his tree. Scar comes back. And it's funny because Scar gets startled. He's like, Mufasa, rawr! And Rafiki's just like, waka! Yeah, that was great. I really liked that. That was funny. Nice. And he's like, look, your jealousy and hatred's gonna make you the bad guy. Why don't you just chill? And Scar's like, I'm not always a bad guy. I was trained my whole life as a prince to be king. And now I don't get that because Mufasa had a baby. At least it's only on my mouse, right? I got too excited. I'm sorry. I'll get it in a minute.
Okay.
Gonna have a baby. He had a baby. Now there's a baby, and I don't get to be king. And Rafiki is like, oh, yeah, you know, that wasn't fair for you to be raised like that. I'm sorry. And he's like, well, fine then. I'll just be the bad guy. And now we have Scar.
Nice.
All right. I'm going to step off camera just for a second. Okay. You keep going.
Yeah. I've got 2 books left.
Oh, wait. They're right here.
Sorry. So this is Immoral X-Men issue 3. Another third.
Another one.
This will wrap up the Immoral storyline of this bit of the Sons of Sinister. And it's been 1,000 years. And Sinister is still living in his heck that he created.
Oh my god.
And he's looking for the Moira machine to reset time again. And just try to maybe not do what he did this time.
Dummy.
And betrayal. Betrays Rasputin. Like you do. Like Sinister does. And yeah. And Destiny is like, hey, dude, if you reset time, I'll join up with you. Like, we'll join forces because yeah, I'm looking into the future right now, and you goofed. Like, this is
you done goof.
Like, we need to fix this. Over it. But yeah, there's like loads of mutants now. Like, just you can't even count them. There's so many, too many almost. And there's crazy religious sects, like Exodus.
Man, Destiny be showing up twice this week.
Yeah, like Exodus has his own like cult thing. Then there's another cult thing of Nightcrawlers, and it's a lot. There's a lot. A lot has happened in 1,000 years.
Sinister's rude.
Sinister he be Sinister. Okay, and this is Breath of Shadows, issue 3.
Yeah, another third. I like it.
Yeah. So, the whole gang, they're close to finding what they're looking for, which means to Jimmy, it's like, okay, cool, like, I'll be able to, like, not be addicted to heroin anymore if I can find this thing that I need. It'll be great. And he might actually have to go to a place called Shibalba, which is basically heck. So he's gonna have to go to heck and back. And
it's weird because in the actual history of it, Shibalba is just the afterlife.
Yeah.
Whether
Well,
it be heaven or hell.
well, in this it's heck.
How dare they?
Yeah. So he's gonna have to go to Heckenback and see like his real self will be revealed to him, whether it's good or bad.
Well, that's
And-
rude.
Yeah, and yeah, it's crazy. Stuff is crazy. I love this series. It's
I'm waiting
great.
for the trade. I should just read it, but I was
Yeah.
waiting for the trade.
10 out of 10 would read again.
Oh my gosh. And I think that's all of our books, isn't
I
it?
think so.
Hold on, let me look.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
We read a lot of books. We're sorry if we got one or two, maybe a little mixed.
Yeah.
Maybe a little...
Oh, and there's a puppy in this too. So
Puppies!
this and Deep Space Nine are probably my picks of the week because dogs.
Nice.
Baphomet. I love it.
Oh, also, speaking of mutants in Rogue and Gambit, it was funny because one of the guys who like attacked Black Panther to try and get Rogue and Gambit some time to escape was like, "Haven't mutants gone through enough?"
No.
I was like, "No, obviously. Have you not read the Immoral X-Men?" I think that's everything. There's a lot of books, guys. So many books came out this week. Maybe not a bunch of number ones, but quite a few number ones. So definitely call your LCS ASAP.
And
Just
read
a
Saga
few
if you
books.
haven't. I know it seems daunting, but it is worth it.
Yeah.
It hurts, and I love
It's
it.
so good.
Yeah.
Come on, baby, don't you
The
hurt
universe
so
just
good.
that created just feels natural. It doesn't feel like anything's forced. Like, oh yeah, that's a dude with a TV for a head.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It just
that's
feels natural.
That's life. That's great.
So yeah, there's a lot of good things coming our way with more books too. There have been one or two delays across the country due to natural disasters like tornadoes and stuff.
Yeah.
So please be patient with your LCSs. If you don't see something at your LCS that you do see here, just say, hey, can you order this? Or, you can hit up one of us for it. So, yeah. I have been Jenna. Look, it even says my name correctly.
Yeah.
That's been, I think, Alfie.
I think.
Maybe.
I'm not 100% certain.
Oh,
I
no,
haven't been
that
to
weather be
Chivalra,
crazy
so I don't know
outside.
who I am.
Oh, we've been, what have we been?
Minute to Skim It.
We've been
That's
Minute to
the
Skim
show.
It? Oh, yeah, that's right. We've been Minute to Skim It. This has been the experience, and sorry for anything else, but I hope you enjoyed it. And we hope to see you again next week. The same great time, same great place. Bye.